Dear students, in last class we are discussing about gravitation and that Newton's law of gravitation, relation between small g and capital G, and variation of small g at a height above the surface of earth and at a depth below the surface of earth. All these things we have discussed. Today we shall discuss Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Laws of planetary motion. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. There are three laws which govern the motion of planets around the sun. The first law says about the nature of the orbit, in which orbit a planet revolves around the sun, and the first law says that the orbit in which a planet revolves around the sun is elliptical. You know, in geometry of R square, straight line, circle, ellipse, hyperbola, parabola, etc. So, the orbit in which a planet revolves around the sun is elliptical in nature. The first law statement is every planet revolves around the sun in a fixed elliptic orbit with the sun situated at one focus. So, the statement is like this: every planet revolves around the sun in fixed elliptic orbit, with the sun situated at one focus. An elliptic orbit has got two foci. The sun is situated at one focus and the planet revolves around the sun in the elliptic orbit. For different planets, the orbits are different. Like this, this is an elliptic orbit. There are two axes, one is major axis, the other is minor axis. Here is one focus, here is another focus. The sun is situated at one focus. Here is the sun, here is the planet. Like this. The elliptic orbit is here, which has got two axes, major axis A dash, minor axis B dash. The sun is situated at one focus. Planet is revolving around the sun in the elliptic orbit. A dash is major axis. Conventionally, length is taken as 2a. B dash is minor axis. The length is taken as 2b. So, A is semi major axis, B is semi minor axis. Equation of the elliptic path. Is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. This is the equation to the elliptic path. For different planets, there are two different elliptic orbits. The sun is situated at one focus of every elliptic orbit. Clear? So, this is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. When a becomes equal to b, that is semi major axis becomes semi minor axis, the ellipse becomes a circle. So, the circle is a particular case of an ellipse where semi major axis is equal to semi minor axis. So, this is about the first law, which says about the nature of the orbit. In what type of orbit this planet is revolving around the sun? The orbit is elliptical in nature. So, the statement goes like this: every planet revolves around the sun in fixed elliptic orbit with the sun situated at one focus. So, this is about the first law. Now, the second law. The first law is also called law of orbit. This because it says about the nature of the orbit. The second law gives idea about law of aerial velocity. Law of aerial velocity. What does it mean by aerial velocity? Aerial velocity is area covered per unit time. Linear velocity, distance covered per unit time. Angular velocity, angle covered per unit time. Aerial velocity, area covered per unit time. So, this second law gives the idea about law of aerial velocity. How does the planet move? What happens to its area? When a planet is revolving around the sun, it is covering area. So, what is the aerial velocity of the planet? The statement is like this: a planet revolves on the sun in such a way that the radius vector sweeps out equal areas in equal interval of time. A planet, statement is like this: a planet revolves around the sun, in such a way that the radius vector sweeps out equal areas in equal interval of time. Equal areas in equal interval of time. A planet revolves around the sun in such a way that the radius vector sweeps out equal areas in equal interval of time. That is aerial velocity of revolution. Aerial velocity of revolution of a planet. Aerial velocity of revolution of a planet is a constant. Aerial velocity of revolution of a planet is a constant. That is, mathematically you can write it: dA by dt is constant for a planet. For different planets it is different, but for a planet it is a constant. dA by dt is a constant for a planet. So, the second law gives the idea about aerial velocity, how much area the radius vector covers. What is the radius vector? The radius vector is a straight line joining sun with the planet. So, this is the position of the sun. Yes, here is the planet P. P dash, P double dash. Like this, the planet is revolving like this. So, the planet P moves from what? P to P dash. Suppose the planet P moves from P to P dash in time t, again from P dash to P double dash in the same time. So, area covered in time t is how much? Area SPP dash. Area covered, subsequently area covered in time t SP dash P double dash. According to second law, the area SPP dash is equal to area SP dash P double dash. The planet moves from P to P dash in time t. Subsequently, it again moves from P dash to P double dash in time t. So, time interval remains the same. In time t it moves from P to P dash, again in time t subsequently it moves from P to P dash to P double dash. According to second law, area SPP dash is equal to area SP dash P double dash, SP dash P double dash. Area SPP dash is equal to area SP dash P double dash. So, area covered radio spectre shifts out equal areas in equal interval of time. Time interval remains the same t, so area remains the same, area covered. That is, aerial area covered per unit time is a constant. So, area covered per unit time of a planet is a constant. Area covered per unit time of a planet is a constant, that is aerial velocity. Aerial velocity dA by dt is a constant for a planet. This is important. Aerial velocity is a constant, not a universal constant. Aerial velocity of a planet is a constant. For different planets is different, but for a planet is a constant. So, area covered per unit time of a planet is a constant, that is aerial velocity of is dA by dt is a constant for a planet. So, this is about Kepler's second law of planetary motion. Now, we will go to third law. Third law says about, that is also known as the law of time period. Law of time period. Law of time period. What does it mean by time period? Time taken by a planet to move around the sun. In case of Earth, it is 365 days. So, this law says that a planet revolves on the sun in such a way that the square of the time period of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of the elliptic orbit. This law states that the square of time period of revolution square of time period of revolution of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptic orbit, semi-major axis of the elliptic orbit. So, this is the third law. This law states that the square of time period of revolution of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptic orbit. That is, mathematically you can write it like this: t square of the time period is directly proportional to a cube. T is the time period, a is the semi-major axis. T is time period of revolution. In case of Earth, it is 365 days. A is semi-major axis. A is semi-major axis. T square of time period of revolution of planet round the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptic orbit. That is, t square by a cube is a constant. So, these are Kepler's law of planetary motion. If in the examination question comes, write Kepler's law of planetary motion, write the first law, second law and third law. These are the laws of Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Now, we shall go to orbital velocity of a satellite. A satellite which moves around the sun, and moon is the natural satellite of Earth. So, orbital velocity of a satellite. With what velocity a satellite is revolving? Orbital velocity of a satellite of a satellite. Orbital velocity of a satellite. A satellite is that which is revolving around the planet, and for Earth, Moon is the natural satellite. So, let us consider Earth, mass m, radius r. A satellite of mass m is moving with a velocity v at a height h above the surface of Earth. So, this is the case. Mass of Earth is how much? Mass of Earth is equal to capital M. Radius of Earth is equal to capital R. Mass of the satellite, small m. Velocity of revolution of the satellite is v. Height at which the satellite is revolving is equal to h. Height at which the satellite is revolving is h. So, what is it now? How did the satellite revolve? When the satellite is revolving, the centripetal force is equal to what? Gravitational force of attraction between Earth and the satellite. The gravitational force of attraction between Earth and the satellite provides the necessary centripetal force for circular motion. So, what is the gravitational force of attraction? Gravitational force of attraction between Earth and the satellite. Gravitational force of attraction between Earth and the satellite is equal to how much? Capital G, capital M, small m, by what is the square of the distance? Square of the distance is how much? R plus h whole square. G capital M small m by R plus h whole square. This is gravitational force of attraction. What is the centripetal force? Centripetal force is how much? Centripetal force is equal to m v square by R plus h. This is the centripetal force. For circular motion of the satellite, centripetal force is equal to gravitational force of attraction. So, you will equate both and find out an expression for velocity of the satellite. mv square by R plus h is equal to g capital M small m by R plus h whole square. The small m cancels, 1 R plus h cancels. So, v square is equal to how much? G m by R plus h. So, v is equal to how much? G m by R plus h root over. G m by R plus h root over. This is your velocity of the satellite. Velocity of the satellite, which is revolving at a height h. V is equal to G m by R plus h. Then what is the time period of revolution of the satellite? If this is the velocity, what is the time period of revolution? Time period of revolution of the satellite. Time period of revolution. What is the time period of revolution? If t is the time period, t is equal to how much? In one revolution, what is the distance covered? 2 pi into R plus h by what? By v. T is equal to 2 pi R plus h by v. That is equal to 2 pi R plus h by v is equal to how much? G m by R plus h root over. So, this becomes what? 2 pi R plus h into root over of r plus h by root over of gm. So, we can write it as what? 2 pi r plus h whole cube by gm root over. This is your time period of revolution, time period of revolution of the satellite which is moving, revolving at a height h. If the satellite is revolving very close to the surface of earth, if the satellite is revolving very close, suppose the satellite is revolving very close to the surface of earth, if the satellite is revolving very close to the surface of earth, if the satellite is revolving very close to the surface of earth, suppose the satellite is revolving very close to the surface of earth, h can be neglected, h can be neglected in comparison to r, h can be neglected in comparison to r. So, v becomes what? V becomes gm by r root over, gm by r root over, velocity of revolution becomes this gm by r root over. That is equal to what? We can write it like this, gm by r square into r root over. What is gm by r square? Small g, rg root over. Putting the value of r and putting the value of g, this can be calculated to 8.4 kilometers per hour. So, r is equal to how much? 6,400 kilometers, g is equal to how much? 9.8 meters per second square. So, velocity is found to be what? 8.4 kilometers per second. This is the velocity of revolution of a satellite which is revolving very close to the surface of earth. The formula for velocity is what? Root over of rg. Put the value of r is equal to 6,400 kilometers, g is equal to 9.8 meters per second square. Putting the value, you can calculate that velocity is 8.4 kilometers per second. So, when a satellite is launched, it is imparted velocity of 8.4 kilometers per second by a multi-stage rocket, and it is then revolves around the sun. Now, see a geostationary satellite, geostationary satellite or synchronous satellite. What does it mean by a geostationary satellite or synchronous satellite? A geostationary satellite is that satellite which appears to be stationary when seen from the surface of earth. When you view the satellite from the surface of earth, it appears to be stationary, but a satellite cannot be stationary. The moment it becomes stationary, earth will pull it down. So, it is revolving in such a manner that it appears to be stationary when seen from the surface of earth. So, remember the definition of geostationary satellite. A geostationary satellite is that satellite which appears to be stationary when seen from the surface of earth, Our TV program etc. they are done by the geostationary through this geostationary satellite. A geostationary satellite is that satellite which appears to be stationary when seen from the surface of earth. So, time period of a geostationary satellite, time period of a geostationary satellite is 24 hours. Time period of a geostationary satellite is 24 hours, because Earth takes 24 hours to move around its own axis, to make a complete revolution around its own axis. Earth is taking 24 hours. If the satellite is taking 24 hours to move around the sun, move around the Earth, then the satellite will appear to be stationary. Earth is moving around its own axis in 24 hours, making one complete revolution. If the satellite will take 24 hours to make a complete revolution around the Earth, then the satellite will appear to be stationary. So, in that case it will be called geostationary satellite or synchronous satellite. It is called synchronous satellite because its time period has been synchronized with Earth. Its time period is 24 hours, time period of revolution of Earth around the axis is also 24 hours. So, the time period of a geostationary satellite is 24 hours. Clear? Then what is the nature of the orbit? The orbit in which a geostationary satellite revolves is called parking orbit. Parking orbit. Parking orbit. What does it mean by parking orbit? The orbit in which a geostationary satellite revolves, is called parking orbit. Is called parking orbit. Is called parking orbit. Why it is called parking orbit? The satellite appears to be stationary, so it appears as if the satellite has been parked there, it is kept there. So, the orbit is called parking orbit. The orbit in which a geostationary satellite revolves is called parking orbit. So, if in the examination question comes, what is parking orbit? Orbit of a geostationary satellite is called parking orbit. Then at what height a geostationary satellite revolves? This height is around 35 height at which a geostationary satellite revolves. A geostationary satellite revolves. At what height a geostationary satellite will revolve? Because the height is important, because if at that height the time period of the satellite will be 24 hours. At different heights the time period will not be 24 hours. At a particular height, time period of revolution will be 24 hours. That particular, what is that particular height? We have already found out time period of revolution of a satellite which revolving at a height h is equal to capital T, that is equal to how much? 2 pi r plus h whole cube by gm root over. This is time period of revolution of a satellite which is revolving at a height h. For a geostationary satellite, this time period will be 24 hours. So, let us take the square both the sides. T square is equal to 4 pi square r plus h whole cube by gm. So, r plus h whole cube is equal to gm t square by 4 pi square. R plus h whole cube gm t square by 4 pi square. So, r plus h is equal to gm t square by 4 pi square to the power 1 by 3, or h is equal to gm t square by 4 pi square to the power 1 by 3 minus r. So, this is the height for a satellite. For a geostationary satellite, this time period T will be equal to 24 hours. For a geostationary satellite, T is equal to how much? 24 hours. That is equal to 24 into 60 into 60 seconds. So, putting the value of T, putting the value of G, M and R, height at which a geostation revolves can be calculated. Putting the values of T, G, M and R, the height can be calculated, which is calculated to be around 35,000 kilometers. We can calculate this. We put the value of T to be 24 into 60 into 60 seconds. So, this is about your revolution of a satellite, velocity of a satellite, velocity of a satellite going very close to the surface of Earth, and geostationary satellite. Now, we shall discuss about escape velocity. Escape velocity. What does it mean by escape velocity? What is the meaning of escape velocity? When you throw something from the surface of Earth, it goes to some height, then falls down. With what velocity a body must be projected upwards so that it will escape the surface of Earth forever. It will not come back to the surface of Earth. That velocity is called escape velocity. Escape velocity defined, remember the definition, escape velocity is defined as the velocity with which a body must be projected from the surface of Earth, Escape velocity defined the velocity with which a body must be projected from the surface of Earth so that it will never come back to the surface of Earth. It will never come back to the surface of Earth. It will escape forever. As we see that when you are projecting a body upwards, it is going to some height and falling down. But with what velocity must be projected so that it will not come back to the surface of Earth again, it will escape forever. So, in that case, what is to be done? When you are projecting a body upwards, you are imparting some velocity to the body. Means you are giving some kinetic energy to the body. As the body is going up and up, it is doing work against the gravitational force of attraction of Earth. So, gradually the kinetic energy of the body decreases. When its kinetic energy body becomes zero, the Earth pulls it down and it falls down. So, the body will escape from the surface of Earth forever. It is possible if the kinetic energy imparted to the body at the time of projection is sufficient enough so that the body can go out of the gravitational pull of the Earth. So, how to calculate that? Expression for escape velocity. Mathematical expression. This comes as a long question in the examination. What is escape velocity? Find out an expression for escape velocity. It comes as a long question in the examination. So, expression for escape velocity. So, in this case, what is to be done? We will take the satellite, calculate how much work is done by the satellite to go out of the gravitational pull of Earth. That is, how much work is done by the satellite to go from the surface of Earth up to infinity. That amount of work done by the satellite will be equal to initial kinetic energy given to the body. So, if this energy is given to the body, the satellite will be capable to do work against the gravitational pull up to infinity. So, it will not come back. So, let us calculate that. This is your Earth mass m. radius r, satellite, let us take a satellite of mass m at a distance what? At a distance x from the center of earth. Satellite, if you are sending it, body is projected, expression for a velocity, mass of earth capital M, radius of earth capital R. Let us consider a body of mass m at a distance x from the center of earth. Let us consider a body of mass small m at a distance x from the center of earth, from the center of earth. Let us consider a body of mass m at a distance x from the center of earth. So, what is the gravitational force of attraction? Gravitational force of attraction is equal to how much? Capital G, capital M, small m by what? X square. So, with this force the body is attracted toward the center of earth. Now, let us shift the body to a distance dx of mass. So, in that case work is to be done against the gravitational force. Suppose the body is shifted to a distance how much? To a distance x dx, this distance is dx. Amount of work done to displace the body through a small distance dx is equal to how much? Force into displacement. Force work done is force into displacement. Amount of work done to displace the body through a small distance dx is equal to force into displacement, and your force is how much? G m by x square, displacement dx. So, this is the work done to displace the body through a small distance dx. Now, the body is to be displaced up to infinity from the surface of earth up to infinity. So, through how much work will be done? Total work done to displace the body from the center of earth, from the surface of earth up to infinity. Total work done to displace the body from the surface of earth up to infinity will be integral of this g m by x square dx. Integration of g m by x square dx. What are the limits of integration? Because the body is to be displaced not from the center but from the surface. So, on the surface of earth, what is the value of x? X is equal to how much? R. X will start from R. Body will be displaced from the surface of earth. So, the lower limit of x is how much? R. And what is the upper limit? It will be displaced to what? It will be displaced to infinity. If you can send the body up to infinity, then there is no question of coming back of the body. Therefore, the body will escape the surface of earth forever. So, this is the total work done g m by x square dx, limits of integration from r to infinity. So, now we have to integrate it. What are the constants of integration? In this case, what are the constants will not be integrated? Capital G is a constant, will not be integrated. Mass of earth is also a constant, and mass of the body is also constant. Only variable is what? Variable will x. So, let us take the constants outside. G capital M small m r to infinity dx by x square. So, this becomes what? G capital M small m r to infinity x to the power minus 2 dx, x to the power minus 2 dx. So, how to integrate it? X to the power minus 2, then you can put the formula x to the power n dx, x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So, this becomes what? G capital M small m x to the power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 from what? Limits of integration from r to infinity. Limits of integration are from r to infinity. We are putting the formula here, x to the power n dx integration is x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus a constant of integration. But in this case, there will be no constant of integration because the integration is made with a definite limit. When there is no definite limit, there will be a constant of integration, but since here the integration is made with a definite limit, there is no constant of integration. So, the integration GMM x to the minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1, that is equal to how much? Minus 2 plus 1 is minus G capital M small m 1 by x from r to infinity minus GMM 1 by x from r to infinity, that is equal to minus G capital M small m. Now, put the limits. How do we put the limits? First upper limit, then subtract the lower limit. So, what is the upper limit? 1 by infinity minus 1 by r. Why it is 1 by infinity? Value of x is upper limit of x is infinity, but you are writing here 1 by infinity because we have got 1 by x here. So, 1 by infinity minus 1 by r, and as you know 1 by infinity is equal to how much? 0. So, this becomes what? G capital M small m by r. So, this is the total amount of work done to send the body up to infinity. If this much of energy can be imparted to the body at the time of projection, then the body can go up to, body can do work up to infinity. So, when the body is capable of doing work up to infinity, it will escape the gravitational pull of earth. So, how do we impart this much of energy at the time of projection? We will give it in form of kinetic energy. If V E is escape velocity, means if this is the velocity of the body can escape forever. V is escape velocity, then initial kinetic energy imparted to the body, given to the body, imparted to the body. How much kinetic energy imparted to the body? Half m v square. If v is velocity of escape, then kinetic energy imparted to the body is half m v square. So, if this much of this is equal to this, the body will be able to do work up to infinity. If the body is able to do work up to infinity, then it will go to infinity. When it goes to infinity, there is no question of coming back. So, for the body to escape up to infinity, for the body to escape forever, half m v square must equal to what? G capital M small m by r. Half m v square is equal to G capital M small m by r. If this condition is satisfied, the body can go up to infinity. This mm cancels. V square is how much? 2 Gm by r. V square, that is equal to 2 Gm by r square into r. This is equal to how much? 2 Gr, or V is equal to how much? 2Rg root over. V is equal to 2Rg root over. This is the expression for what? expression for escape velocity, expression for escape velocity, expression for escape velocity. 2 rg root over, what is the value of R? 6400 kilometers, radius of earth g 9.8 meters per second square. Putting the value of R and putting the value of g, it is calculated that escape velocity from the surface of earth is 11.2 kilometers per second. Putting the values of R and g, VE is found to be 11.2 kilometers per second, 11.2 kilometers per second. So, if you project a body with a velocity 11.2 kilometers per second, then it will escape this surface of earth forever. So, 11.2 kilometers per second is the escape velocity from the surface of earth. Relation between your velocity when this satellite is revolving close to the surface of earth and the escape velocity, V is equal to what? 2 rg root over, we can write it as what? Root 2 into rg root over, that is equal to root 2 into V, that is orbital velocity of a satellite revolving close to the surface of earth, revolving close to the surface of earth. V is root 2 times, escape velocity is root 2 times, root 2 into orbital velocity of a satellite revolving close to the surface of earth. So, if you impart a velocity equal to root over of rg, which is equal to 8.4 kilometers per second, then the body will revolve around the earth, be very close to it. If you impart a velocity 11.2 kilometers per second, then root over 2 rg, then it will escape the surface of earth forever. So, from this you will get long question, define escape velocity and deduce an expression for the long question, the examination. So, in gravitation we have discussed what is gravitation, what are Newton's laws of gravitation, what is the relation between small g and capital G, acceleration to gravity and gravitational constant, what is the relation between them, and variation of g when you go to a height above the surface of earth, how g will change, when you go to a depth below the surface of earth, how g will change, and what is the value of g at the center of earth. Then Kepler's laws of planetary motion, there are 3 laws of Kepler, first law, second law and third law of orbit, law of aerial velocity and law of time period, and then about orbital velocity of a satellite and the escape velocity. This is the entire thing about your gravitation that is kept in your plus 2 syllabus. You will get long question from this, short questions and numericals from this chapter also. It is a very important chapter from examination point of view. Thank you very much.